Welcome to GuardianCast, guys. This
Hey,
is episode
Guardian.
83. We have
Yeah,
no Huffy this week.
fuck a Huffy, dude.
He's busy.
Jesus.
He's off definitely recording our intro song. That's why he's
Yeah,
not here, I'm sure.
booked a
Oh
whole
yeah, he was
studio.
super stoked on the last episode about
I
that, wasn't he?
heard
Yeah.
that he was getting Ninja to play keyboard on it. So
Wait,
yeah,
wait, 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 wait. Is he playing keyboard like the instrument, or he's just like mashing on a
he's
keyboard?
just mashing on it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, it's gonna be great. Definitely next week when we're back, I want everyone to message him and be like, "Can't wait to hear the song. It's gonna be awesome."
Yeah. So just make sure you tweet at Huffy. Hey, thank you for making the song for Guardian Casted.
So we have a guest this week. This is Kez the Hero.
Yo,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Sweet.
Nah, fuck
So,
you.
Oh Jesus.
you want to take a second to like introduce yourself, say what kind of games you play, and how you got into Destiny and stuff?
Sure. So as you, if the people who are viewing it live can see behind me, I have been gaming for a very long time. My parents and my grandma got me my first video game consoles, and I've been buying video games ever since.
For those that aren't viewing live, he has like what is that? Got to be like 1,000 games behind you.
Easily, yeah.
Probably ish. Yeah.
Okay. And it is
Um,
all just a copy of Battletoads, just so you
Yeah.
know.
Yep, just a copy of one single game.
Mhm.
But no, I had some friends get me into, Halo and stuff back in high school, and then Bungie announced the separation from Microsoft and Destiny, and I just got super pumped. And we all know how the launch of D1 went.
Yeah.
Fell off
Swimmingly,
of that
obviously.
a little
Yeah, it
bit,
was the
and then
greatest game ever. Everyone was on board. I remember.
But no, like I've been playing pretty regularly since the Taken King. When Destiny 2 came out, I started going to school, so I was like playing one character. Now that I'm done with school, I'm knee deep in all three characters. I play every fucking day.
Yeah.
It just love the game.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Um, so there's not too much going on in the Destiny world this week. Like we got some new stuff we're gonna talk about, but in terms of news of things coming, it's kind of a light week on news. So we do have some like non-Destiny related things to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about just right out of the get-go is I tried Mixer last night, guys, and it's probably not great to talk about this streaming live on Twitch, but I'm gonna do it
Go
anyway.
Fuck it, do it.
I had a great time. I was trying something new, and I really wasn't sure. I kind of went into it a little skeptical, but I think I'm ready to commit to the move. We're gonna try it for a while, and so if you're subbed to me on Twitch, you should probably discontinue that. Just I don't know if I'm gonna go in and if I have to go in and cancel my affiliateship or whatever, but next week this podcast is gonna be live on Mixer, so. That's the formal announcement on here, guys. I figured I'd just put it right in the podcast. Eddie Kez was actually on there last night with me. What'd you think of it?
Dude, I loved it. I'm excited to try out the 10K bit rate. I had some issues when I started. I think you did too, and we
Figured it
had all
out.
talked about the problems that might be causing that. So I think next time I go live on there, I'm definitely going to try out that 10K bit rate.
Yeah. So,
Your
um,
guys' streams looked incredible.
yeah, a couple of things that I just really liked. That the 10K bitrate really made the quality look fantastic.
Yeah.
And the way you get it to work is by not selecting the auto server. You want to pick the server geographically closest to you because the auto will not pick that apparently. So once I picked what was closest to me, it worked perfectly. The quality looked amazing. The low latency blew my mind. Like honestly,
Oh
I'd be
man.
asking questions and talking, and people were literally answering me before I finished my sentence. I was so blown away that I was sure that they must be talking about something else or talking to someone else every time it happened.
Yeah,
Um,
it was quick.
So that's a big deal to me. I really liked that with the chat. I liked how people could engage with Sparks even without having to like spend real money, and throw gifts in chat. It just was like a very high engagement. We met a lot of cool new people for being our first time ever on there. And I don't know, that was just like a lot more than I was expecting. So I'm gonna give it a try for a while and see what happens. We'll see where this takes us.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say about that. So same time, every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're still gonna be doing this podcast. It just won't be here. Yeah, and that's that pretty much. One other thing before we get to Destiny is I haven't gotten a chance to do the dungeon this week yet because I got invited to the Halo Waypoint Flight 3, and I have been playing the shit out of it. I am having so much fun playing Halo on PC. It is
Oh, yeah.
unbelievably cool. Like it's just Halo Reach so far, and there's some bugs, but man, all I did was play PvP by myself. Like probably a good 6 hours last night out of the 10 like that I was live. We raided for like 4 hours and just kind of screwed around and hung out in Destiny, but other than that, I was playing Halo PvP by myself. I could never play Destiny PvP for that long by myself right now. Like I would get way too frustrated. There's like a freshness to it, and I had a really good time. It's very hard. It's very challenging. It like aiming is a lot harder than it is in Destiny. A lot less forgiving. But I'm excited about it. I want to get good at it and keep playing it. So that flight's going till Wednesday, and then hopefully the release will be pretty soon. So
my question is, as far as that goes, like, how much of it is nostalgia and how much of it is it actually good?
yeah, I was wondering that myself, but there's a lot more variety to it. Like I was just playing social, and it was just 4v4 yesterday, and I probably played a solid 10 or 15 different game types. Like oddball, capture the flag, SWAT, all sorts of stuff that just added so much variety. And it felt like playing custom games with your friends every single time rather than just like a sweaty mess of control against
I
like the top people in the world. And here's the other crazy part. Number one, there's dedicated servers. This game is old as fuck. Bungie, how the hell do you not have dedicated servers in your AAA game yet? you know?
Yeah, that's another question.
Number two, there's only 50,000 people in this whole flight, and I was finding games lightning fast. Like, I couldn't even get up. I had to cancel matchmaking to get up and use the bathroom in between games, or I'd miss half the next game.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
how the heck is this like finding people in such a small pool of people so much faster than Destiny does? Because the skill-based matchmaking probably isn't nearly as tight. But
Probably, yeah.
I loved it, and I want to keep playing more of it, and I look forward to the other games coming out too. And I'm gonna be
It
playing a
looked
lot
like
of that.
fun.
What?
It looked like a lot of fun. Like I do miss just the vast variety of modes that Halo had to offer, you know?
Reese says I hate playing custom games with friends. Hex and Eddie just use Mountaintop and Recluse.
I mean, listen,
That's
when
how
you
Eddie got
go
legend.
around, okay, I'm not legend.
That's how he does
Listen,
his
that actually is a
legend,
sore
like,
subject,
Mountaintop
sir.
Recluse.
Fucking Huffy has ghosted me 2 weeks in a row now. Where are you, Huffy? I need legend. I got the Luna's kills. Give me legend. Only 1,000 away.
Oh yeah, also shout out Gamma Trap came by, hung out with us in our stream last night,
That was
Game
unreal.
is pretty rad.
and
I like that.
and apparently our names are going to be buried in his artwork this week, so that's pretty
Nice.
awesome.
That was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, that's all I have on the non-Destiny related front. I'm gonna keep you guys posted on Halo as well, and my experience with it, because I'm gonna be playing it a lot more. Also, one other thing, I'm probably going to be starting an Outer Worlds playthrough pretty soon since I have access to it for free on the Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, highly recommend you play it. It's
Yeah.
getting a lot of great reviews.
I was actually thinking about diving into that like one day a week on my streams.
Do you think you
'Cause,
could play a game like that one day a week and get like immersed and remember what's happening?
I used to play like Fallout and stuff a lot.
One day a week
So
though?
one day a week will be tough, but
Because like you got to remember everything about the world, like settle into it and
yeah,
stuff like you would have to have a longer play session, I think, if you were doing one day a week.
yeah, for sure,
You
for
know,
sure.
but that's a good idea.
But
So let's jump into it, guys. You want to start with Festival of the Lost or the dungeon or what?
It's fucking cool because they took my money. I
Which,
like
one?
Festival of Lost.
Okay, Festival of the Lost.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like Halloween shit.
All right. So you spent a lot of money. What'd you buy?
I spent $20. Let's not say a lot of money, okay?
Well, you said they took your money, so
Okay,
you
I
sound bad
gave
about
them
it.
my money. I wanted to give them to them because the
As
broom
much
was
as
cool.
as much as I love and support Bungie, like you spent $20, but you probably only got like 2 or 3 things.
Yeah,
That's kind of rough. Like they're not really microtransactions. They're pretty hefty.
true. But at the
But
frequency that I do them,
Let me
right?
ask you
It's
this.
not often that
Let
I
me ask
actually.
you this though.
Yeah.
The broom and the other stuff that you bought for the $20. Do you think, honestly, you will
Mhm.
use that outside of this event?
Yeah.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Those skeleton ornaments aren't coming off. It's not happening.
Until Christmas, when there's
Till never.
Christmas
I'm
ornaments.
gonna wear them forever. Forever. You understand? Until I die, those things are gonna stay.
I
on my
do not
character.
believe you. I don't think you're being honest with yourself, but
I'm never honest with myself. I'd say a lot of shit and just hope for the best. But no, like so I ended up buying the Batwing ship, like the little skeleton bat ship,
yeah,
and the broom. I will use them quite frequently. I really doubt that I'll take them off very
I'm
often.
I personally am holding off to see what stuff goes on for Bright Dust. I've got a pretty good
And that's
stockpile
fair.
of dust.
Yeah.
But towards the end, if the broom and the ship haven't gone on, like yeah, I'm gonna drop some money.
I mean, I bought all 3 sets of ornaments for the characters for the skeleton suits with bright dust. Like that's where I spent my bright dust because they were fucking 6K bright dust each. It's a lot of bright dust.
Yeah, it is.
trying to
But
get
I
people
mean,
to waste it.
it's a full set of ornaments though. You know what I mean? Like it's one for each piece. So I don't know. I listen. When it's stuff like that, like when it's something like really cool and cosmetic, I'm cool dropping a little bit of money because I don't like. I'm not the type of person that needs every single ornament or every single ship or every single
Oh,
like some of that.
you'd be
Like there are other
broke
people
if
out
you were
there, and
that person.
and exactly, and it sucks that because it does cost so much for these transactions that to have that collections thing. At least there's not a triumph for having everything from everywhere, so that'd be really shitty. Um,
That
I
would
don't
be
mind spending the $20
mentally
here and there.
abusive.
Oh, it'd be fucked up, yeah. I don't know.
It really bums me out when like the ghosts are like what $7, $8. Like, come on,
True.
they should be like 3. Let's be real. Like $2 or $3, I would buy every fucking
A
one of
lot
them.
more people would, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's the thing about some of these things is like if they were a little bit less, more people would buy them. But then again, that would also cut down on the novelty of it because then everybody has it. I
Right.
don't know. It's a weird
I
mentality
don't.
thing when it comes
Yeah,
to
I
that
don't
stuff.
fault them for doing it at all,
No.
though.
I do microtransactions pretty much like maybe once a year if I'm really happy with the game. I bought $20 worth when Forsaken dropped because man, I was so happy with so many of the changes that they made.
Yeah.
I also when Shadowkeep dropped bought $20 worth because I thought that I don't know, like I thought I was a lot happier with the content than I actually am at the time. Like it felt like there was so much more happening. In retrospect, I probably went a little overboard with that because there definitely is not as much as I thought there was. And I'm a little worried about this annual pass now.
They're drip feeding us, I think is what it is. I think
Yeah.
there's still the
I,
same amount of content. It's just not coming at the rapid pace or that we thought it would, or maybe not in the big
Well,
clumps that
I
they
mean,
had.
in terms of like content this season, it's actually not too bad. I mean, we got the campaign, and then we got the raid, and then we got Vex Offensive, and then we got the dungeon now and Festival of the Lost and stuff like that, and then the
There's even a
heroic.
new EP thing on the moon. Like they're actually giving us
Yeah.
things each week. Like
The
it's not
heroic nightmare hunts and the new remastered Nightfall, the old ordeal, and all that stuff is great. But this is what I'm looking at. Vex Offensive is like the big seasonal piece of content, as evidenced by the Undying title. Like 90% of the triumphs are Vex Offensive, which means I think each season there's going to be something like that it's centered around, and I think Vex Offensive is by far the weakest piece of content in the Shadowkeep expansion. And I think the Menagerie was a lot better. It feels like a step backwards to me, personally, and I don't feel compelled or enjoy doing Vex Offensive. What do you guys think?
I personally don't think it was as good as the activity of the Menagerie, but I think the way they revamped the loot system, like you can't go into that thing without like turning on farming mode and dim. Like otherwise you're just gonna get overwhelmed with loot.
Well, there's more loot, but it's less curated. You can't decide as much what you want. You can decide like one weapon at the end, but you can't do like the range master work and
Well, I mean, technically you could pick up all 4 and get all 4 weapons at the end.
right.
Like you can totally choose what your rewards are at the end, and
But
I
you
dig
can't
that,
choose
but you
the
can't
role.
choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can't. And that's, but I don't know.
And here's a point to remember when you call it the weakest piece of content in the season thing. It's going away.
Yeah.
We're not going to be playing it again in
But
next
that's
season.
kind of my point. Like it's designed to be disposable content.
I mean, is it designed to be exposable, or is it designed to make you want to play it for the time being, and then once you're done, you're okay with it? Like
The
I know
only thing that
that's all.
makes me want to play it is the fact that I'm going to miss out on the title. Not that I'm like going to be mad that I didn't play it if I don't. Like I'm
Right,
not.
and I'm not saying it's the best thing they've added to the game. It's pretty boring, and I can't say I've done it more than the first 2 weeks, right? Uh,
So we're
But
on the same page.
I kind of,
Okay.
but I understand its place and what they're trying to do, and giving positive feedback as to this is what they did right and this is what could be better. I think something that would be more interesting, than just go here, kill this thing, go here, go to the next room, kill a thing. Like it's very menagerie-esque, and I agree if they added some sort of designability to what you can get, like some more option to what you can get at the end, more than just the random roll of whatever this weapon
Yeah.
is, right? I agree that would be better,
Also,
but
more boss encounters than just one in the same
just
arena
a
and
just
that
a
kind of
little
stuff.
bit more. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and if they could expand upon it, that'd be great. It's a great first offering for the first season of this new expansion, and honestly, I personally would want it to be a little bit lighter than the expansion itself. I want to, if I'm getting an expansion and then this bonus, season's worth of stuff that is supposed to be accompanying the expansion. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
would rather that be a
understand.
little bit
If
lighter,
if this part's going to be lighter than the rest of the annual pass, it's understandable.
Yeah.
One of the things Reese is saying is it was designed before the Menagerie because they were being developed side by side. I don't know if that's actually true for Vex Offensive. What Luke Smith said that I think he was talking about the rune table. I think
Maybe, but I think I think all of that stuff
the
was
rune table
being
sucks. Like
the rune taint, it's pretty bad. Yeah,
the
it's
loop,
rough.
and like the only good one I guess is what, maybe Tranquility and the grenade launcher. Is there
And
anything
the
else in
current
there?
meta, yeah, that's pretty much the best things in there. I personally like the shotgun,
Okay.
but that's just me. But then again, I've got a decent roll on it, so
But the loop you have to go through to get one random roll is like
it's a
almost as
bit
bad
much.
as the Forge, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Forge-esque for sure.
Dude,
Yeah.
I did 3 tranquilities last night and I wanted to kill myself.
Fair, yeah. I mean, it's very Forge-esque. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I can see what they were going for with it, but knowing that that was being developed at the same time as the Menagerie and seeing how the Menagerie executed it
Yeah.
better,
Way
you can
better. Oh,
definitely
yeah.
see, the timetable on that, right?
I
So
do kind of look at this though as like, as far as the Menagerie goes, like I've gone back into it, I think, twice this season, but I would be bummed if it wasn't there. And I don't know if that's a good example of something that could be a time and place kind of thing, because that's something I want to be able to go and do. Whereas Vex Offensive, if they decide to bring it back for a week, like later on down the road, like I'd be like, oh yeah, that was fun. There was some weapons in there. Like
Yeah,
I'm okay with this thing going.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And an
so
occasional appearance of it would be nice too. It's something that it could stay or go. I agree. But it, my thought is if they were to get rid of Menagerie, right?
Yeah.
If they could implement something better with all the knowledge that they have now and all the player feedback now, get rid of Menagerie and give us a new activity to replace that, even,
Why do
right?
they have to get rid of it?
To give us something more and different and new. So get rid of something that was not
uh
designed amazingly. I don't know. Maybe
A
I'm just getting
menagerie
straight.
was designed pretty amazingly, in my opinion. It's the
it
best
it
of
is it's good.
iteration of any of those kind of activities that they've done.
My problem with it right now is just the amount of, like, I've got the fucking rune finder consumables, and then I go into my chalice and I've got hundreds of runes because
Yeah,
I never do it anymore.
right,
Like,
because it's not relevant content anymore.
And
exactly.
that's what
Like
I'm
I
saying. If they were to
wouldn't.
build a new, more relevant version of it,
Yeah.
you know,
And dude, I called that, like, I was telling my buddy Sai when they did the chest fix. I was like, I'm not like bummed out about it, but we're gonna be so overloaded with these runes now. Like, they drop like
Yep.
candy,
mhm.
Yep.
and yeah,
Yeah,
sure enough,
I
you
said
you
the
can't
same
spend them
thing.
all.
I said the same thing. And Eddie will remember. I actually made fun of Luke Smith's post about it because he said one of the biggest problems they found with it was that with the menagerie loop, is that you don't get enough runes. Who the fuck ever said that?
I don't
Nobody
think
has
anyone's
ever
complained
said
about
that.
had. Yeah,
Like,
maybe the first week.
yeah.
No
And that's
one has
that's because we
since.
were farming the shit out of that chest.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so now it's in a place, even if it went back to like the original design of it, I don't think I could spend all the runes if I was running back and forth to that chest still like I used
No,
to,
you
you
couldn't.
know?
No,
And
because
even
we've been fucking sitting
even
on
what
it
they
for so
did
long.
coming up to Shadowkeep, where they increased the drops, like, you still only had to slot one rune in, and they gave you like fucking 5 guns.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. But I honestly though, I was surprised when we found out that that was only happening for a week, right? Like everyone kind of assumed that was just going to be the new loot structure for it.
No, no one assumed that. They were pretty,
Yeah,
obvious when they said it. It
they said it
was
would increase week by week. It was like 4 weeks
Yeah, they
of it
said it
where
would
they
increase
up
but
until
then like
Shadowkeep. They didn't say that
damage
would.
damage like tweeted out like, just to be clear, it's going back after Shadowkeep launches,
Yeah,
and everyone like flipped out.
I think people were just hopeful. I don't think anyone
No, I
actually thought
never
that.
assumed that it was going back to one drop because like everybody was pissed when they fixed it and said it should have worked the broken way that it launched in because everyone loved it. And then when they were fixing it, it seemed like everyone was like, okay, cool. So they found like a good middle ground because you could get like 7 to 10 drops before, and then it was 5 when they were at the maximum number of rewards from Callus or
I
whatever.
mean,
Like,
I agree that
right.
it should have stayed that way, but I don't think they ever said anything to make it sound like it was going to stay that way. It was a community reward for us hitting that for that period of
I
time. They were
remember being under
explicit about it
the
was a period of time.
yeah, I remember being under the impression that it was going to go back.
I was not, and I know a lot of other people were not. And I remember actually talking to
I
Val,
could
and I
see that
like
being a
read the
misunderstanding.
tweet. I read the tweet like when it came out, and he was like, "Wait a minute, you got to be kidding me!" So all of this bullcrap that we did with escalation protocol and the nightfalls and stuff is only like giving us those rewards for 1 week. I was like, apparently. So I mean, I know I'm not the only one who thought that because the thing is, it's not like 1 week was going to fundamentally change anything. If you're hunting the perfect role for like the sniper rifle, like I'm only one perk off on my sniper rifle. So unless it's like I'm getting 5 drops, it's not even worth me doing at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm
It's
just
fair.
getting one every single time, like the chances of me getting exactly what I want are so low. It's a waste of time.
You just need my RNG, dude.
Yeah,
True. Just get Kez's RNG. Just have him play on your account. You'll be fine.
that's true.
Dude, that's not true. Like I do get a lot of shit about getting a lot of god rolls, but it's because I talk about my god rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't fucking
I
talk about it. Don't give you shit. God damn, dude. I tell you
the
this all the time.
Tranquility's been the fucking bane of my existence since Shadowkeep dropped. Every fucking one drops with 4 times the charm.
It's a pretty good perk, yeah. It's terrible perk.
I
It's
fucking want
awful.
firing line, goddammit.
So I'm gonna have to rely on you guys for impressions on the dungeon. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, so tell me
Well
about it.
done. It's fantastic in my opinion.
it's
It's
really
everything I
good.
would want from a hive centric, you know, dungeon, if you will. It's very dungeony. You go down, you go deep into a big pit in the moon. You fight fake Crota. It's pretty great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Fake
it
Crota.
was, dude. It was a
You
lot of
can't do
fun.
this for me.
It as long as those Destiny tracker screenshots are real and we're gonna get like higher difficulties of it, I am all for this fucking thing. The mechanics are really good. It, it feels like a more solid dungeon to me than Shattered Throne did. But I mean, Shattered Throne's fucking great. I'm not like discounting that piece of content at all. But
Crota.
I think I like this one better.
Okay, so you
Yeah,
like
I
it
agree.
better than Shattered Throne. Both of you like it
Yeah.
better than
Oh
Shattered
yeah,
Throne.
for sure.
Okay, interesting. Because a lot of the criticism I saw was people saying that it was easier than Shattered Throne.
I mean, in aspects, right?
I
It was a little bit more, I
I
guess, less difficult enemy heavy wise.
Mhm.
But as far as like mechanically and thinking and keeping you on your toes, it was definitely more difficult.
I really liked that when Shattered Throne came out, like granted me and my fire team weren't power leveling at that time, but we went into this thing and we got to the fucking ogre and we had to wait 3 weeks for it to come back around because we couldn't beat the ogre
Mm-hmm.
and then but this piece of content we went into it and we were able to knock it out in 2 hours. It felt really solid, like a group of casual people could come in and figure out the mechanics and and that first encounter, hey buddy, I'll be out in just a minute, okay? I need you to shut my door. Sorry guys.
Sorry.
But even like the very first puzzle of that was pretty cool, and like I
It
was
takes a
happy that
minute.
yeah,
It like
it does. Like
takes a minute to figure it out. Yeah,
when you just look at it and see the grand scale of it, it's just these like spires and symbols everywhere, and you're like, what the
it's fucking
fuck are we
overwhelming at
supposed to
first.
do
You're like,
here?
what? Yeah, exactly. I agree.
And then granted, it was actually like a lot simpler than we thought it was going to be, but I
So
really liked that we could go in and knock it out on our first try. And
interesting. Being that it's a like more mechanical than like difficulty driven, do you think that leaves as much replayability, or is it like kind of like a experience once type of thing?
if the difficulty level thing
Oh,
happens,
right. So
I
for people who don't know, there's like screenshots going around that there might be more difficulties introduced for this
Which would
dungeon.
make sense. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been doing this master and all that kind of difficulty thing. It would make sense.
yeah,
Except for the
I
raid. The
You
raid's
know,
that'll
not getting anything.
one
if
day
that happens,
maybe.
that'll make this thing super replayable. But
Right.
the
Because I
the
think
fact,
everyone was expecting it to be 980, right? And then when it wasn't, everyone was kind of confused. So then I guess the difficulties would make a lot of sense because then it's like it's a piece of content that's accessible to people, but then you can also crank the difficulty up.
Yeah, and I think they've been trying to do a lot of that is, give us an experience where we can make it more hard on ourselves if we'd like to.
yeah, because yeah, right now, like I'll replay it for the drops, but like even the weapons are way more farmable out of the um Sorrow's Harbor event, because they're a daily rotating drop. So
Right. So it's like the first encounter you can farm, right? Something like that.
so as far as the weapons go, I think the first couple encounters of the dungeon are farmable, but like
There's
the
three
new
weapons, right? It's the sniper,
yeah,
the rocket, and the
slug
shotgun.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can all drop out of the escalation protocol style event in Sorrow's Harbor. So farming them out of there is a much more reliable way if you just want the weapons.
Okay.
Um, but the masterworked piece of armor at the end is a cool drop to the dungeon.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to try it. Last new thing that was introduced this week, momentum control. Did you guys both play it?
Yeah,
I haven't got to touch it yet,
You haven't
sadly.
got to touch it. Oh, okay. What'd you think, Eddie?
I enjoyed it. I understand why they didn't release it at launch, because it's a Randy's throwing knife farm.
Yeah.
It's literally the easiest way
Yeah.
to finish that quest, and I did
Right.
because that fucking quest is terrible. Um, it's fun though. I like not having to rely on your radar. I found it enjoyable. I'd never played a game mode like that because I never really played Halo.
SWAT. Yeah.
I was never a Halo player. I didn't have an Xbox growing up. Um, and so I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the aspect of it, and how, how the guns worked, this, that, and the other. I enjoyed it. Is it a game mode that I want to stay around forever? No, I'm glad it's on a rotator.
Mm.
When it comes around though, I will be playing it again. I did enjoy it.
So I have a couple criticisms. I went into it with an open mind. I really enjoy SWAT and Halo, and getting to play it again yesterday a lot. I really enjoy SWAT. It's a lot of fun. But momentum control, there's like the biggest problem is Spectral Blades. Spectral Blades has a way big unfair advantage against everybody else because every time you get a scout headshot kill, if you're crouching, you get wall hacks, and in a game with no radar, that's really fucked up. And then when you pop
Yeah,
your super, you get wall hacks, and you can just shit on everybody because you're the only one who knows where anybody is.
it's fantastic as a hunter, terrible to play against hunters, which I mean,
If you're a warlock, you can use that chest piece with the rift. That's the only
yeah,
thing you
but
could really
that's
do.
not as fun though. I
Right.
mean, I I get the appeal of doing that as a hunter, and it's shitty when they do it, but I get it. But I think
If you're a
without
hunter,
that,
why else would you play anything else in that mode,
pretty
right?
much, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
my I don't know. If they could somehow disable that for that, it would be great, which I don't think they can. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, what I
And
saw that looked fun, but yeah, the people dropping fucking seventh columns with that subclass, like, was just, oh, okay.
and Michael's right. It doesn't feel like SWAT or Halo because like you have to ADS, which takes time in a game with no radar and instant death. The in-air accuracy is still bad, like it is in all Destiny games. And then the other thing I would add to that is high mobility. Like the biggest problem, they keep trying to do no radar game types in Destiny, and the biggest problem with it is with how fast you are. It's a mess because it's impossible to keep track of your surroundings when people can move so fast and be
Yeah.
behind you in like a second.
Oh yeah.
You
I mean,
know,
there's been
so
so many times where I've just had people meleeing me from behind because I didn't know they were there. I didn't know,
right. Like you
you
looked
know.
over there a second ago and there was
Yeah,
no one around, and now all of a
yeah.
sudden he's right there. So that's not the case in Halo, and that's why SWAT worked because people move so slow. They're not gonna just like run up behind you unless you're like looking one way for a really long time. You know what I
I mean,
mean?
I do give Destiny credit for adding something different
Yes.
into Destiny. I mean, they
Also,
are
this is
taking
Chocom's last. It's his swan song to the
right,
PvP team.
which is
So
great, and it was. I mean,
yeah.
it was a great swan song. I mean, it's fun. It has replayability. It is it a little fucked up in the sandbox? Yeah, but that's the sandbox at the moment.
Yeah.
They are taking steps to tweak stuff, and I appreciate that. And the fact that they're taking chances, they're taking risks on different stuff is it's amazing. I love it.
Awesome. You guys have anything else to add or that you want to talk about?
Not
Oh, Iron
really.
Banner coming back. I mean, there's nothing
Iron Banner's
different,
coming
right?
back. They're changing the Pinnacle plus
Right.
two shit. I mean,
Yes. That's a
I
big
think
thing.
that's the only thing we need to address still. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're changing the way Pinnacles work. It's going to be, as of next week, wait till Thursday if you're doing any kind of Pinnacle grind, because that's when the patch is going live. All Pinnacle drops are going to be +2 instead of +1 now to make it easier. I have a big problem with this because all this time I've been assuming it's a year-long grind because of how slow it was. It was obviously impossible to get to 960 by the end of the season, but now, looking at it, if the goal is to be 960 by the end of the season, and even with +2, I'm like more pissed because I don't care about this if it's just going to reset in like 30 days. And why do we need to raise the light level in 30 days unless there's going to be a raid? If there's going to be a raid, which I don't think that there is, we'll find out soon enough, I guess, but I don't think there's any reason to ever raise that light cap unless there's a raise. It just feels artificial and stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Even so, like with the the artifact, we have artificial light level as it is. It doesn't make much of a difference, So I don't know. It's a very weird thing. And personally, I was happy with the chase of getting 960
Yeah.
and possibly not getting it by the end of the season. I was excited by that. That made
Yeah.
me want to continue to do raids every week. That made me
Yeah.
want to grind.
Yeah.
And now that they're bending on it, kind of fucked up.
Right.
It takes my appeal to continue going once I hit that cap, because then
Right.
what the fuck am I gonna do?
And it's just gonna go away. Like, I mean, they
Yeah.
haven't explicitly said that, but it's that's what it sounds like. Like
It would make sense. Yeah.
it sounds like the light cap is gonna go up every season still, which just makes me think, like, what is the point of this Pinnacle grind at all?
Yeah. It's definitely, we're gonna have to wait and see. I want to, they have shown good faith as far as them doing what they're meaning to do and doing well by it. So I want to believe that they have a plan in place for this, but
I'd like to take this opportunity to blame Paul Tassi again. By the way, he wrote
I mean, obviously, like, we
he
have
wrote
to.
an article about the Pinnacle grind, and was like asking Bungie to clarify this, and said there's two possible scenarios. Like, either this is a bug and like they intended for people to reach 960 and it's not possible and they did the math wrong, or the other theory was it's supposed to go over the course of a year. And then he said, and nobody wants that year-long light grind. Fuck you,
Who?
Paul. All right.
Yeah, who are you speaking for, Paul Tassi? Paul Tassi, you're a coward, and you need to come on the podcast and tell us why you think you're. Why? Why? Fucking why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you make it more difficult for people who want just to grind and just want the chase?
Complain
give
about
us
a blowjob,
dude. Give us
Tassie.
a chase.
Oh my god.
Calling you out, Paul. Eddie 182. Calling you out.
All right. Kez, thanks so much for being on this week, man.
Dude, thanks for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
This has been a good time. I enjoyed everybody being here. Don't forget, guys, next week we're going to be on Mixer. It's going to be mixer.com/rectexpert, just like it is here.
And next week I'm going to be on myspace.com
Yeah.
gaming. So,
Don't confuse people.
No, sorry, my bad.
But I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for trying new things, and I hope that all of you will take the opportunity to try something new with me. So, thanks, everybody.
Face.
It's been episode 83. Everybody go bother Huffy on social media about making a song and being here.
Show up.
See you later, guys. Peace.
Thanks, guys.